Hi, this is Dawn from Ninja Bunny Crochet. Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little Easter Bunny cup cozy. You can fill this up with candy or little toys or something for your kids, or fill it up with some candy or some goodies to give to a coworker for Easter, or just fill it up with some goodies and give it to yourself for an Easter gift. Anyway, I made this with medium 4 acrylic worsted weight yarn. You'll need white, a little bit of pink, and a little bit of black. I did use Studio Stitch Classic by Nicole. You don't have to use this particular yarn. You could use any medium weight, worsted weight 4 yarn that you choose. In fact, you can just pull out the scraps, get your scrap bin out and pull out whatever little bits that you have there. You don't even have to use white. You can use whatever color you want. That's what's really great about this cute little project. You could use whatever color you want. For this tutorial, I used 2 different hook sizes. For the cup cozy body, I used a G or a 4.0 millimeter hook. For the ears, I used an F 3.75 millimeter hook. You also need a pair of scissors and a yarn needle to weave in the ends and to also sew on your buttons. You'll need 2 wooden buttons or plastic buttons, whatever kind of buttons you want to use. And a pom-pom, you can make your own if you choose. I do have this cute little pom-pom maker. In fact, here, let me put it back together and I'll show it to you. This is what I use to make the pom-poms. They snap together like this and they come apart. And here's the pieces apart. And what you do to make a pom-pom with. I use the middle ring. But I will show you how to use this later on in the tutorial. You don't have to get this type of a pom-pom maker. You can use any type of pom-pom maker you want, or you can even use a credit card to make a pom-pom. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any of my tutorials, and let's get started on making this cute little Easter Bunny cup cozy. To start the bunny cup cozy, start with a slip knot on your hook. Don't make it too tight. Make sure you can slide it up and down on the hook. And chain 39. Once you have your chain of 39, flip the chain over. And we're going to be working the back loops of the chain. So in the second chain from hook, single crochet. I'm going to single crochet in each chain across the chain. Place 1 single crochet in each chain. The reason why we use the back loops is when you flip over your work, it looks the same on the top, on the bottom, as it does on the top. So it makes a nice finished edge. So continue single crocheting your way across the chain, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the chain. I'm at the end of row 1. We have 38 stitches, 38 single crochets. To start row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn the work. Single in the first stitch, and then we're going to double crochet in the next stitch. Single in the next stitch, and double crochet in the next. And single in the next, and double crochet in the next. And this is going to be our pattern all the way across the chain. We do a single and then a double. Single, whoops, except for don't drop the stitch. Single and then a double. Your last stitch should be a double crochet. Please continue this pattern all the way across your chain or your row, and I'll meet you back at the end of the row. I'm at the end of row 2. We're going to chain 1 and turn the work. Now for rows 3 through 9 is a repeat of row 2. So again, we start with a single crochet and then a double crochet. And a single crochet and a double crochet. And we'll repeat that pattern all the way across, and you will end with a double crochet. So you'll always start your row with a single crochet and end your row with a double crochet. So please continue to do row 3 through row 9, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of row 9. Okay, I'm at the end of round 9. We still have 38 stitches. I'm going to chain 1 and turn the work to start round 10. For round 10, we're going to do a single crochet in each stitch across. So for round 10, it's just one single crochet in each stitch all the way across. So please continue with single crochets all the way across, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. I'm at the end of row 10. We still have 38 stitches. We're not going to fasten off yet. We're going to work along the edge of the rows. So turn the work, and we're going to be doing the button loop row. So chain 10, slip stitch into the very first stitch, our very first chain, to form that loop. That loop right there is what's going to go around the button on the other end. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place single crochets along the end of the rows till we get down to the other end. So we're going to place 10 single crochets evenly spaced along the edge. Once you have your 10 single crochets down the side, don't worry if you end up with 11 or if you end up with 9. That's okay, as long as you count how many you have and you put the same amount along this end to keep it in balance. In fact, so now we're going to chain 10 again. And then slip stitch back into the first chain, then fasten off. We're going to weave in the ends, and we're going to work on this side. We're going to place 10 single crochets, or however many number you got on the other side, going up this side, and this is the side that we're going to place the buttons on. So let's get our ends weaved in, and I'll meet you back so that we can place our single crochets along this side of our cup cozy. Okay, to do the button side, looking at the side that you have your button loops, where the right side, just turn the work, keeping the right side facing up, and then attach your yarn at the bottom. You can do this either with a slip stitch or a standing crochet, single crochet. I like to do it with a standing single crochet. And if you're unfamiliar with that, I'll show that to you again. You start with a slip knot on your hook. Insert it into the end of the row. Grab your working yarn, yarn over, pull up the loop, and then continue like a single crochet. Then work along the rows, placing your single crochets. I have a count of 10. If you got a different count on the other side, that's fine. Go for whatever number that you have. Once you have your single crochets along the end, just fasten off. And we'll weave in those ends. And then we're going to place the buttons on the sides here. Again, on the right side, we're going to place buttons. Now, you can have any buttons that you choose. And just sew your buttons down just like that. On the end, you're going to sew them down to the end onto your cozy. Now once you get that all done, we can go on and work on making the ears for our bunny and then the pom-pom for the tail, and we can put it all together and finish up the cozy. We have the finished cozy body. We have our buttons sewn on, and this is now complete. We can just set this aside, and we're going to start on the ears. And this is what a finished ear looks like. So now what we're going to start with is our pink yarn, and we're going to use our smaller hook and chain 10. Starting from the second chain from hook, single crochet 8 stitches, 8 chains, then in the last chain you're going to place 3 single crochets. 2, 3. Now working along the back side of the chain, you're going to single crochet in the back of the back loops, 8 single crochets. Once you've completed that, fasten off. You don't need to leave too big of a tail, just a small one. And this is the inside of the ear, and you can set this aside and get the white yarn. And we're going to do the exact same thing with the white yarn. And this is going to be for the outside of the ear. So chain 10, second chain from hook, start, 8 single crochets. In the last stitch, place 3 single crochets in that last chain. And working down along the back side of the chain, we're going to place 8 single crochets. At the end, chain 1, do not fasten off, and turn the work. Get the pink. If it helps, you can go ahead and weave in those ends, but it's just as easy. We're going to be able to tuck them inside at the end too. We're going to be working in the back loops of the white and the front loops of the pink. There's that little tail is getting in the way there. Let's get that out of the way. And we're going to single crochet the two together. So we're going to single crochet 8 in the first 8 stitches. Make sure the right side is facing out. So that's 1, 2, 3. 4. 6. Okay, I think we got 8 right there. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one more. Well, that should be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, I have 8. Now we're going to place 2 single crochets in the next 3 stitches. So each of the next 3 stitches get 2 single crochets, or what we call a single crochet increase. Then 1 single crochet in the next 8 stitches, all the way back down to the beginning. Or shall I say the end? And then you can fasten off. Leave a long tail to sew this onto the cup cozy. Now all these little tails that are hanging out, you can weave those in, or you can just tuck them inside. What I would do is just tuck them up inside, because they'll help give a little bit of stuffing to the ear. And this one in the back here, this one's very easy to get to tuck that one inside as well. Just take a yarn needle and thread it up and bring it to the inside. And now that one's all tucked inside too. Now we just need to make the little cotton tail, and then we can assemble the bunny face onto the cozy. Hey, this is what I use to make pom-poms. For the smaller pom-poms, I have a different type of pom-pom maker. For larger pom-poms, that's actually a little bit easier to make, but for smaller ones, I use this. These just kind of pop out. So for the size that we need for this, we're going to use these yellow ones. They have this little ridge on them, and you put these two together. Then you take your yarn and you're going to wrap the yarn around the edges of the pom-pom maker. Now, if you have a different type of pom-pom maker, that's wonderful. You could use that, whatever means you have to make a pom-pom. Some people like to use a credit card to wrap the yarn around, and that's great too. I just found that this gives you a nice round little pom-pom. I said I do have a different style that I use for larger pom-poms, but since this is just a tiny little pom-pom, I use this little one here. It can take a little while. This, you know, has some time here to make this pom-pom. It's a little time consuming, but you do get a nice little pom-pom. So you just have to be patient and wrapping this yarn around to get the pom-pom to come out. So I will continue wrapping this around off camera, and I'll come back when I've got it all wrapped up, and I'll show you how to cut this off and how to actually finish the pom-pom. So I'll be right back after I have the yarn wrapped all the way around this. All of the yarn wrapped around the pom-pom maker, sorry about that. And now I'm going to cut the yarn, making sure I hold it in the center. I go just around the outside edge. Just like that. And then just pull it apart just a little bit. And slip in a piece of yarn to tie it off. Just like this. Hopefully I didn't go off camera there a little bit so you could see what I was doing. And tie it just like that. Tie it in a nice tight knot. Then pull off these ends and fluff up the pom-pom. And there's their pom-pom. Now I might need a little bit of a trim just to even things up a little bit. And there's your little pom-pom. And there it is. So now we can get started on putting all of our parts together on the cup cozy. Okay, here is the cup cozy completed. We have the buttons are sewn on, the little pom-pom tail, ears, and face. Now I know I didn't sew these on camera, but mainly because I'm not real good at sewing these things on camera. But you want to place your ears about a stitch or two away from the buttons and about 2 stitches between the ears, 2 to 3 stitches, and then place your face. I did my eyes about a row below the ears and then about a row above, about the second row of your pattern stitch is where I place the mouth, and then the nose is the next row up and the eyes is the row above that. I just found it very difficult to be able to actually embroidery on camera and have it, you know, you actually be able to see what I was doing. Embroidering is not my finer abilities. So you can see how I did this. I just made 2 little lines for the eyes, a little triangle for the nose, and just a little upside down T for the mouth. You can make your face any way that you want to make the face. And then you can, it would just go on the cup. Here is a little Easter Bunny cup cozy. I hope you enjoyed this. And here's the little pom-pom tail. And you can fill it up with little Easter goodies and whatnot. You can put it out for the kids, or, you know, maybe an office mate that you want to, someone in the office that you want to give them a little Easter gift. You can just fill it up with some candies and stuff and whatnot. So I hope you liked this tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any of my tutorials. Thanks for watching, and happy crocheting. Bye-bye.